And then we had Iraq. They went into Iraq. The geniuses go into Iraq. Iraq didn't knock down the World Trade Center, just in case anybody had any question. And this guy did kill. He was not a sweetheart. He was a bad guy in every way. But he did kill terrorists, right? And it became Harvard University for terrorists, right? But they did go after him. But he didn't knock down the World Trade Center. So they got a lot of bad thinking. But we're doing a good job. We're getting the hell out. We're moving. You know, we did something in Syria. We were guarding their border. At one point, we had thousands of people. The Syrian border between Turkey and Syria. It's been there for 1,000 years. They've been fighting for many, many years under different names. I said, I'm getting our soldiers out of there. I did. I took them out. And you know what I did with the soldiers? No. They don't tell you the true story because they're a bunch of corrupt people back there. I told Turkey, you got to defend your own border. We're not going to defend your border. And we get along with Turkey. We get along. But they've been there for, and by the way, I call it a safe zone. That is the most dangerous safe zone in the world. Okay? I'm looking at the audience. There's about 3 of you that want to be in that zone, okay? And you're very tough people. But this is the most dangerous. I call it the safe zone. Someday it may be a safe zone. But I took our soldiers out because we had an army here and we had a vast number of people here. And they were going to fight. I said, if they're going to fight like they have been for hundreds and hundreds of years, for centuries, let them fight. But we're getting the hell out of there, okay? But the fake news doesn't tell you the right story. But the fake news doesn't tell you the right story. Because what I did is I took our soldiers, and you know what I did? I moved them to the oil area, and we now control the oil. So they said Trump stayed in Syria. Trump stayed. So people said to me, why are you staying in Syria? Because I kept the oil. Which frankly, we should have done in Iraq, okay? A long time ago. You have no idea the things and the decisions I've seen. So they say Trump's in Syria. I didn't pull out. I did pull out. We have the oil really secure. We'll see what happens with it. But we can help our friends, the Kurds, because that's where they got their wealth. And then ultimately, it was with ISIS. But right now, it's with the United States military. And we also got rid of remnants of ISIS. While we're creating jobs and killing terrorists, Democrats in Congress are wasting America's time with demented hoaxes and crazy witch hunts that have been going on, by the way, from the day I came down the escalator with our future First Lady. Somebody said to me recently, President was a friend of mine, used to always call me Donald. Hey, Donald, how you doing? Let's go have dinner. Okay, good. Now he calls me President. I told you this before. He calls me They always call me President. President, tell me, what's happening? What's going on? How's it all going? You're doing such a great job. I said, do me a favor, call me Donald. I can't. Now, when they say, you know what that means, right? That means respect for the office of President. And you know what? We're going to keep it that way. We're going to keep it that way. We're going to keep it that way. But that's why this November, we're going back and we're going to win the House. The Republicans are going to win the House. Because I don't know if you know it, the impeachment hoax, it's a total hoax. This is based, just think of this. This is based on a perfect phone call. Did anybody read the transcript? It's a perfect call. In fact, if you go back and look at Lyndon Johnson, all of them, Lyndon Johnson was sort of a tough guy. Can you imagine his phone calls? He's probably looking down or looking up, and he's probably saying, these people have gone crazy. That's the nicest call I've ever. In fact, somebody said, I never knew you could be so nice on a telephone call. But this is all based on a simple phone call that was totally appropriate, where the president of Ukraine said there was no pressure on us, didn't even know what they were talking about. The foreign minister said they want to impeach the president of the United States over a perfect phone call. It's the greatest hoax ever perpetrated on our country. Ever. But we're going to go back, and because of it in Wisconsin, I don't know if you've seen, independent voters and voters, I think of all of the voters, including Democrats moving over. We just got 195 to nothing, the Republicans in the House, which was a fix. We got 100, Nancy Pelosi says, it must be nonpartisan. It must, and she said, it has to be clear cut. Well, number one, never happened, no problem. Number two, look at the vote. 3 Democrats voted with us. So I guess you could say it was a nonpartisan vote because they voted with us, okay? But we're going back and we're going to hold the Senate. And we're going to keep the White House. But we're going to win back the House. We're going to win back the House. And I'm thrilled tonight. A man who's become a great friend of mine. He's a warrior. Senator Ron Johnson is here. Come up, Ron. What a good guy. Congressman Brian Stile, Jim Sensenbrenner, Glenn Grothman. Glenn, come up. Come up. Mike Gallagher. Wisconsin House Speaker Robin Vos. Wisconsin State Senate President Roger Roth. State Senate President. Come on, fellas. Wisconsin State Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald. Come on. A friend of mine, a world champion. He climbs. Would you believe it? Is Sean here? Where's Sean? Get up here. I love champions. He would climb that sucker. He was the best in the world, right here from Wisconsin, right? Congressman Sean Duffy. We miss him. But he signed with CNN. They paid him a lot of money, and they don't put him on. Why? Because I'm pro-Trump. You think that's fair, right? He's pro-Trump. So what they've done is paid him money to silence him because he has a very important voice. Great job. I like that kind of a job. I think he's okay with it. He gets his check. They refuse to put him on. He says good things about Trump. We don't want you on. That's CNN. That's how fake. Right there. Turn the camera off. And a good friend of all of ours, a Kenosha native, Reince Priebus. Reince, come up. Thank you, man. Thank you, Reince. This is a great group of Republican people, but more importantly, it's a great group of winners. They have been so great. So they work so hard, and I just want to thank you all for being here tonight.
Well, thank you for your strong show of support for President Trump. Now, we ran a pretty tough campaign together here in Wisconsin in 2016, and when it was all said and done, I was tired. I had to take some days off. You know who didn't take any days off? President Trump. I have never seen a man work harder, being so dedicated, so in love with America. That is why we all need to make sure that he wins a second term. I'm 64 years old. I've never in my lifetime seen a man get elected president of the United States where there wasn't some measure of well wishes, some honeymoon period where America gathered around that individual and said, Mr. President, we know it's a big job. We wish you well. Keep us safe. Make this country prosperous. That hasn't happened. That's because the Democrats simply won't admit he beat them.